Beautiful. I believe we're live. Well, hello, Nichole. How's it going today?
I'm doing good. It's not sunny in California because it's Edmonton, and
Yeah,
we're doing good.
yeah we're in Canada, so this is probably the nicest weather we're gonna get. So, welcome everyone. This is Let's Talk Football NFC South Takeover. We're gonna discuss what kind of went on during the week. Something with the Falcons, the Saints. We also have a Bucks member popping in as well. So, honestly, we're just gonna chat and we're just gonna see how she goes. So. I guess Nichole, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're new here.
Yes, I am new. I am. My family is Dallas Cowboys fans, and
We don't need any more of those. I'm sorry.
they're they're quite upset with me doing the Saints thing. But after with Dak Prescott, I think they might be lenient to coming over to the Saints.
Oh yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot of Cowboys fans in this group, so it's not really a surprise. So
Nice. Yeah,
awesome.
and I don't know, I've been watching for about 7 years, 8 years now for the Saints, so I miss
No,
Drew. That's all.
you're the only Saints fan that I legitimately can tolerate. I'm gonna be quite honest with you.
That's good, good.
Awesome. So we'll bring in the Bucks fan as well. Mr. Andrew Faubert, once he decides to show his screen, we'll just have him in here, once he wants to tune in, obviously. So I guess let's get started. So I owe an apology, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, to somebody in the Let's Talk Football family. So I'm going to own up to it. I talk a lot of crap to a lot of people just because I'm a big talker. That's just the kind of person I am. I win big and I lose big. So Miss Ashley Marie Swinton. I don't know if that's your middle name or not, but that's what we're gonna go with today. You beat me fair and square. There's nothing else to it. I had a bad week, and I want you to live in your glory, just like you deserve. So there you go. I'll own up. I'll eat my words, and if there's any kind of punishment, I'm willing to own up to it. So we'll get that out of the way.
That's good. That doesn't come too often, you doing that, so
No, it does. It's just I got to do this live, so gonna do it just with everybody to see. So I guess let's just start off with how our teams did. So how did you feel your team did this week, Nichole? How did you feel that the Saints did?
Oh, so we went against you guys. Big division game to start off with. In fact, actually all the games this week were pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Uh I have one word, redemption.
And why do you
Yes.
say that? Why do you say that?
Redemption because of Michael Thomas.
Okay.
The way he kind of came back in the fourth quarter is, man, unbelievable. Comparatively to starting out in the beginning where he was, slipping, tripping all over the field. I could just see it in his face, the expression about how much he wanted it, and he wanted to prove himself that regardless of what happened, in the last seasons that he missed,
Yeah.
he's back and he's ready to play. So we needed him to go, and he went.
Yeah, he
um,
really balled out. Hey, what kind of injury did he have? Do you remember?
it was an ankle.
Oh,
It
was
was
it?
mostly to do with the ankle and then the hamstring that kind of got him in and out of the last season. But yeah, 2021 was no good for him. But also too, coming back all the way, fourth quarter, 16 points down. They did
Yeah,
say
that
like
was
it's one
insane.
of the biggest comebacks for the fourth quarter for our history. So
Oh my god, I don't know if you've watched the Super Bowl, 28-3. I'll eat my words there, unfortunately, but I don't know about that. But
I
no,
mean, for
that's
our franchise, maybe. I don't know. Fourth
yeah.
quarter, I didn't think it was going to happen, but everyone rose to the occasion. I'm quite proud of the boys. So,
Yeah, Jameis did Jameis things, and I'm willing to admit that, right? He's either hot or he's not. So, there's been a lot of change, especially with the Saints organization lately. So, I guess with that being said, too, do you feel like some moves are going to happen if Michael Thomas has a really good year this year? Are they going to keep him, or are they going to try and get some trade value out of him?
we need good players, good draft picks. We haven't, you know.
Well,
we
you didn't
haven't
tell me to though.
done too much. We need to keep the players that are progressing and making our points. He seems like he's full back strength. We need to keep him for sure. So whatever we need to do, give him pot loads of cash. Bring
Yeah.
him, stay, make him stay. I mean, also too, Sean Payton's gone now, so we have Allen as our new um, coach. So I'm kind of happy because he kind of moved up from the defensive coordinator position and into the offense, and he kind of got to know and go under with Sean Payton to know kind of how the offense handles and what they do. So
Yeah.
there's been a lot of change. We got also too some new guys too, some new rookies on our team that kind of actually did pretty
Chris
good.
Olave.
Yes, yeah. And then who else was there? Was can't remember. Oh no, did I go
we lost.
by? Oh no, are
You
you
know how to.
still here?
Oh yeah, I can still hear you perfectly fine. Your camera just went out, so you probably have to go back to the page. There you
There we
go.
go.
You're all good now. It's okay. It's our first time. We're allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah,
I'm not even worried
and
about it.
laundry. What I was going to say was laundry. He actually ended up doing pretty good for us too, as well. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he caught the ball in fourth quarter, and we took it there. So
No,
um,
it was a good game. It was a good game. I definitely took some notes for this. So kind of like what you were saying, it went well for the first three quarters, and that's a typical Falcons fashion, unfortunately, where we start off really strong, but we can't finish what we start. So they played a tremendous game. There was a lot of upsides to the Falcons in their game. The offensive line looked a lot better. The defensive line for the first time in a very, very long time looked complete, which, that definitely makes me happy. I didn't expect much out of this, to be honest with you. I definitely wanted the Falcons to win, and I knew they were going to perform, but at the same time, it's it's the Falcons, and they always give it up in the fourth. So I got some couple key points that I got. Is Mariota completed 20 out of 33, so that's pretty good. He had a QBR rating of 57.9. And, Cordarrelle Patterson balled out for 120 rushing yards and a touchdown. So it's pretty good. Also, Drake London with his first appearance after an injury in preseason, he did pretty well. He was, what I was hoping he was going to be. He definitely acted like a number one wide receiver. So I'm definitely hoping that, he continues on and he continues to develop. So, ultimately, I was pretty impressed with the game. It was closer than what I thought, in past meetings with the Saints, right? It's not usually that close, especially in the last few years when we're starting to rebuild and everything. So, the fact that it was a close game and it was only a 1-point game right down to the last minute, I honestly cannot be upset whatsoever.
GG, GG, for sure. I mean, the first quarter, it's up and downs. I was like, Taysom Hill, first carry, he got
Yeah.
50. What was it, 57 yards?
Yep. Something like that. I
Longest
believe
career
so.
goal. So, I'm happy. He's one of my favorites for sure. Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
I was a little weary about having him on my team, on my fantasy, but he exploded. But then there was definitely a lot of missed opportunities. Uh, their offense still needs to bridge some gaps with their wide receivers and getting that chemistry. And I'm glad that Winston ended up getting some chemistry out there with them in the final fourth quarter. So I'm happy about that. Also, too, Lutz, he ended up missing that. I think it was 43 yard.
Yeah, it was something around there. It was definitely around the 50-yard mark. I remember that. But he wasn't the only
Yeah.
one too. We got a blocked kick. So realistically, if we really want to dig deep down into it, and not even just the NFC South, there was a lot of kickers that missed, and some really good kickers that missed field goals in the first week, which is actually pretty shocking. Usually you don't see that right off the bat, but I guess with even Lutz missing that one, it could easily be due to just, nerves, right? It's the first week. It's the first game.
He
Not
also
only
was
that, but you're
coming
thinking,
back from an injury, I think, too, as well, because he had
yeah,
some complications last season. So
yeah, absolutely. Mr. Faubert, are you there? Are you live? Are you visible? Are you not? I don't know. Maybe. I guess not. We can come back to him after. That's totally okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. Who did you think was the star of the game for your team?
The star of the game, I'm gonna say Michael Thomas. I got to give it to
Yeah.
him. Yeah, that redemption of me just being like, oh, he's looking so sloppy on the field, but he missed preseason, so I'm like, okay, this game's kind of his warm up, and then finally just him coming back, really got smacked. So happy about
Yeah.
that. He gets my star.
That's unreal. That's good. He
2 receiving touchdowns.
don't remind me. It's
Oh,
true.
yeah, you're right, you saw it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I owned it. That's okay. You know what? We're playing nice, Nichole. All right, we're
Yes,
playing
yes, yes,
nice. All
yes.
right. Okay, we're being civil right now. Okay, like I guess we could trash the Bucks right now if we really wanted to, but they
Don't
didn't
go
really have.
there.
He doesn't have a foot to stand on. He's not defending himself right now, so we're kind of okay with that. But yeah, no, my star definitely would have to be Cordarrelle Patterson. I'll take a page out of your book, and he's a Swiss Army knife. It's funny because I know going into the season, Arthur Smith was talking about him being more of a wide receiver, but I don't see it with how he was playing even last season. Like he's easily an RB1. He can catch, and that's good. That's the versatility that he has, obviously, right? That's part of the reason why we signed him to a new contract. But at the same time, even with New Orleans knowing and New Orleans being easily one of the top 5 defensive teams in the league, right? We broke your guys' streak. That's pretty unreal, right? 20-game streak without allowing 100 rushing yards. So, I'll take that for what it is, right? Especially knowing what Cordarrelle Patterson could do. So, easily he gets my star of the game. It's by far, I can't say any different about that. So,
True. Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Did you catch any of the Panthers and Browns game?
I didn't. I I watched the Titans,
Yeah.
and then I ended up watching the Dallas Cowboys and Bucks game in the end. So,
Well, what did you think about that? What did you think about the Bucks and the Cowboys game?
despite going through and my family cheering for the Cowboys, I was honestly, hey, and Andrew would actually appreciate this if he was here. I was cheering for Julio Jones, like, hand it to him, man, like, take him down. So back.
Oh, Nichole, are you still there? You might have just cut out there. But I think I was getting.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised that they held them back. I don't know the Cowboys offense.
Yeah, you know what? That's something to be said too, actually, with the Cowboys. The Cowboys are definitely, and I'll give credit where credit's due, obviously. They're a very strong defensive team. They're really good in that sense, right? They know how to defend really well. And when they are healthy, and this is a shout out to the Cowboys, like they have probably one of the best defensive teams, right? That division with them, the Eagles, Washington, and I believe the Giants, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's been the Cowboys division to win for such a very long time, right? So, now with all the injuries, it's very unfortunate, but even with such an offensive, strong Buccaneers team, it's something to kind of look out for, ladies and gentlemen. Really, it is. The Buccaneers having Julio Jones, who, unfortunately, it does kind of kick me in the balls a bit. And, seeing him go over to a rival, but, getting him seeing him get the targets that he really deserves is really important, honestly. I feel like he wasn't really utilized in the Titans. So seeing that happen was pretty good overall. So, yeah, I loved it. I love seeing it. Talking more about the Bucs, I wasn't overly impressed with what they did. Just seeing, I guess, how many weapons Tom Brady actually does have, right?
Oh, what a perfect time for me to hop.
There he is. Perfect. I was going on about it. We were talking about the Bucs game.
The
Where's your
Bucs?
screen? I can't see you.
I am readjusting everything right now, so I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's fantastic. So I'll go with what I was saying, anyways. But I expected more out of the Bucks. They won the game. A W is a W. It really is, right? But I will say at the very least, injuries do play a big part of it, right? And I'm not going to take away anything from that. But I expected them to kind of do a little bit more. I'll be honest.
I mean, first game of the season, Brady coming out of like some sort of divorce, what everybody's talking about, whatever the heck you want to call this. I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, at the same time, I was hoping for some more points. But everybody's talking about like, oh, we got 19 points. You know what? I'm just happy that we got the kicker to actually kick field goals, since that was a major problem of ours for many of years here. And everybody was like, fire this kicker and fire this kicker. And now all of a sudden, do we want to take the rookie kicker and make sure he's going to be our future? And then all of a sudden, he misses in preseason, and we keep Suck Up, and Suck Up goes like 5 for 6 or whatever the heck it was. And everybody wants to, we need this and that and everything else. And I'm like, I would rather just take the W and move on right now. I understand it wasn't as many yards as, we're necessarily hoping for, but it was still good nonetheless.
That's all you really can ask for. Like, again, my team has an L, your team has a W. Let's just put it straightforward that way, right?
Your team should not have an L.
And well, that's exactly it, right? So you and I guess technically speaking, because of the point differential, you'd be first in the NFC South as of right now, right?
Yeah, probably.
So that's something to be said. But I guess just to catch you up, I have two things. I guess, how do you feel if the Bucks did overall? What's your viewpoint of it, and who do you think was the star?
Oh, Lenny for sure. I would say is probably the star. A lot of people, including me, were saying that we need a new running back and this, that, everything else in the offseason. But if Lenny's going to keep playing like this on a 3-year contract, I got no problem with paying him the like stupid amounts of money that he's asking for because of the performances that he's putting out there. I don't think Tom Brady would necessarily be doing as good as he respectively did last season and the season before if it wasn't for Lenny. So, but overall, I want them to spend all of our first round picks and go get some offensive linemen just for this run. And I don't care about the future, but I don't think that's going to happen. So we're just going to have to deal with it. I like the defense though. Defense played absolutely outstanding. This defense for the modern era and stuff like that, if it keeps it up, like if they keep doing what they're doing and stuff like that, it may go down in history as one of the better defenses. Because I'm one of the defensive guys out there. Everybody knows I love my defenses, and the 0-2 Bucks are still the greatest defense of all time. I don't care what anyone says. And this squad that they got going right now, just because of the way that the NFL is going, where you need to pass and stuff like that, and then when you catch them on your heels, you need to run. Buccaneers are like number one in all of those categories for like the last 5 years. So I mean, they keep it up and stuff like that. I think we will get the chip this year, but I don't see too many holes in this team, except, of course, for that offensive line.
Yeah. Oh, Nick's saying 85 Bears best defense. I don't know. It could be biased.
That's what happens when you actually have offensive weapons to actually win those games. Buccaneers had Brad Johnson.
To all the Bears fan out there, you guys won a game. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. You celebrate, live it up. And, you got the W. You did it in very, very crappy weather. I will say that.
That was an awesome game.
But, I guess more with your Bucks, Andrew. Did you feel I guess week one, you can't really expect too much at the same time, but do you think it's a Super Bowl caliber team right now? Just looking at week one?
Oh, yeah. It's like, I mean, we won it in the first year when Brady came here. And it was one of those things where you looked at the roster and it was like, oh, man, maybe the roster is that good. And this roster is getting better. And if we're going to keep losing offensive linemen, it's just going to make Gronk want to come back and play for the Buccaneers when they go to Germany. I'd still say I'm holding it's going to happen. But yeah, no, they're still Super Bowl or bust this year. It's the real problem becomes like what happens after we win the Super Bowl this year is
if you win the Super Bowl this year. If you don't, though, does Brady continue?
No.
No?
God, no. I think he's done after this, especially with all the stuff coming out about his family. I read up about the interview that Giselle had, some of the things that she says there, and then some of the things that Brady said on his podcast yesterday morning.
So is there fire to this? Is there fire to the smoke?
Oh, for sure. I mean, Brady said he hasn't had a Christmas in 23 years. He hasn't had a Thanksgiving in 23 years. He hasn't been able to do a lot of things and stuff like that. So I know the end is coming, but I mean, he's not going to be out of football. Like, he's going to go commentate it or do something. So the real question is how much is Gazelle going to put up with? So
yeah, that's true. And honestly, like, you know, we can say that, you know, we want Brady to play forever. Well, me and Nichole don't want to say that, but
nope.
Anyways, you'll say that. That's fine. But at the same time, family's first. You know what I mean? And you know, it matters. It is a sport. It's a passion. It's a love. And don't get me wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but you know, your happiness also does matter. And you know, family is very important, more so than, you know, most people realize. It's taken for granted, you know, day in and day out. So it's important. It's important. So we talked about the stars. I guess we can go around. Who do you think should sit down on your team? Who was a big letdown? And I guess, Nichole, let's start with you.
I got my list here. I have I was gonna say I'm gonna maybe say Ingram. I don't know what's happening with him. But he had 4 rushes for 22 yards, and then the 1-yard reception where he ended up fumbling it, you know, during the third quarter with 5 minutes to go. We need our running backs. We need to be a running team. It's not just passing, you know.
Yeah.
We need to be versatile on both fronts. And right now, we're not getting anywhere with our tires. So I need Ingram to come out and perform a little bit more. He used to be like one of the go-to with Kamara, you know, back to back to back. And he needs to find the holes and get through.
Yeah.
So that's my guy.
Okay, that's fair enough. Andrew, you got somebody who should have sat down on your team? Who was your letdown?
Cam Brate. I mean, I know it's not Gronk, and I know that we don't have like really anything else for tight ends after that. But like the first play of the game, offside false start because of him, and dropping passes, and just not looking ready to play this season. So I would say Cam Brate.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. I honestly, for both of you, I would honestly probably agree. I would also argue, you know, even though Jameis won the game, you know, the first, you know, 2 quarters, I don't think he was that stellar too. Like, you know, he showed up when it mattered, but
I put meh beside him.
Mine might come to a shocker for some people, but it's the guy's jersey who I'm wearing, Kyle Pitts, actually. I'm getting a little worried. I'll be quite frank. You know, I know he's a Gator, and you know he did stellar when he was there, right? And shout out to the Florida Gators, Andrew. I know you're a big fan, but you know, 2 catches and 19 receiving yards. It's kind of tough because I can't really tell necessarily if that's just his fault or if that's a coaching problem. Because you know. I do know that the New Orleans Saints, and correct me if I'm wrong, they have one of the strongest running backs in the league, but they have a really good passing game for the most part. You know, with Drew Brees, Jameis Winston, like they have had, however you want to say it, really good arms, right? Mm-hmm. So I was kind of thinking more so that Kyle Pitts was going to be utilized a little bit more, especially with all, you know, the publicity that Drake London was getting and how he was the number 1 wide receiver off the board and, you know, everything like that. But you know, this is his second season, right? And, you know, I feel like the nerves kind of should have let up a bit. So I'm not sure if this kind of stems down to if this is just play calling, if this is Arthur Smith just, you know, not wanting to fully just kind of let him out there or what's going on with that. But I'm disappointed, and I definitely want to see a lot more out of him, especially, you know, him being, you know, one of the, I guess, highest tight ends taken in a long time, right? So I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to be wrong. I'm thinking he's going to explode. And don't get me wrong, like he's not by any means a bad tight end, right? Like he's definitely still up there as a higher caliber tight end. You know, he's a good route runner, and I know he puts in the effort, obviously, but I'm really hoping, that he kind of shows and proves us all wrong. So unfortunately, that's my sit down of the week.
It's reasonable.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's probably the big one. But I guess our next segment, which this is where we're going to swallow our pride a little bit. Who is your highlight on another team besides your team in the NFC South?
This one was a hard one. I almost forgot that was a question, and that I'm like, I only focus on my team.
Well, that's why I asked it. That's exactly why, because you're only going to focus on your team. But here in Let's Talk Football and NFC South Takeover, we're going to be humble.
Very humble. I'm gonna say someone maybe on Andrew's team called Mike Evans.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, but there was the diving one-handed
God, that was
catch that was for the touchdown. I thought that was pretty awesome. So he's produced quite a bit of touchdowns for the Bucks, from my understanding. I don't know, Andrew, if you correct me if I'm wrong. But he's produced quite a bit for the Bucks as a strong, just a solid good guy.
Oh yeah, I think if I'm not mistaken, I know if some Buccaneer fan is listening right now, they're gonna be like, Andrew, I think he's the franchise leader in touchdowns. So
yeah, I was gonna say he's 77 career touchdowns, and most touchdowns for your guys' history. So
yes,
that's my guy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess my question for you, I guess with that, Andrew, do you think if Chris Godwin wasn't injured, in the last few seasons, that he could compete for that?
Like say, like Chris Godwin compete for some of the stats that
franchise leading touchdown.
Oh, it would be difficult because it would kind of have to fall into one of the you'd have to get a rookie quarterback almost. I think in order to do that. And even if you got a rookie quarterback, I still think they would find their comfortability and their development would be better off with Mike Evans than Chris Godwin. And I know a lot of people would probably be like, why? Because Chris Godwin can do everything that Mike Evans does. And it's true. But Mike Evans is the best 6'6" wide receiver I have seen in a long time. Yep. I mean, Megatron is one that comes to mind. He got to play one season with the late Vincent Jackson, and they were a tandem that, even if it was Jameis or any other quarterback, they would have had a lot of fun, even though we were such a bad team back then. But it would be close. Like it would probably be something dumb, like Evans would end up with like 101 and Godwin would end up with 97. But, Godwin deserves all the respect that he has been respectively getting. I just know that the Buccaneers aren't going to let both of those wide receivers walk anytime soon.
Yeah, no, that's I think that was my little bit of my resignation with the Bucs too. And like everybody was really happy about the Julio signing and, Russell Gage and, just kind of, just stealing our wide receivers, but that's fine. You can cherry pick us. I get it. It's all good. But like you guys do have a really strong wide receiving core, right? Yep. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are a very dynamic duo, right? And when they're healthy, they're very dangerous. So I think that was my confusion a little bit is, you're signing these wide receivers that, definitely are, first string, second string wide receivers, right? Mm-hmm. But like how much playing time are they going to get realistically if both, Godwin and Evans are healthy? Right. So
none. And that's the best part. When they're healthy, everybody else can stay on the bench. Cause at that point, if you can cover Godwin and you can cover Evans when they're healthy, then you're just allowing whatever slot player that is out there to eat. And we luckily got Julio freaking Jones.
Stop. So. His jersey's in my closet. I don't want to pull it out. I'm not doing it. I'm upset about it.
I literally thought about getting a Julio Jones jersey just because I had made the comment before that, like, Julio Jones will never be a Buccaneer. Like, we don't.
Yeah, you literally called it. You did. You called it earlier on in the season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this season, yes, I was like, yes, but back in the day when he was at his prime, I was like, there's no way Julio Jones would ever be a Buccaneer. Like, get out of here. Now I'm just like, yeah.
When he's healthy, he's unbelievable. Like I will say that. Like I do have my resignations with Julio Jones, but the thing is when Julio Jones is healthy and he's on the field and he's at his best, like there's no stopping him, man. He is literally a deep wide receiver and like he can be a threat on any team. it was unfortunate with how everything happened on the Titans and everything. Like, they probably should have given him a little bit more of a chance. Probably a smart move at the same time by the Titans, but this will be his time to shine. If he does win a ring with, the Buccaneers, I will swallow my words, and that's fine. I'll own up to it. And it'd be nice for him to win a ring, especially with him coming so close in 2015. So, yeah, I guess. Sorry?
I was just going to say, if we win it this year, I will personally make sure that you get a nice signed Julio Jones Buccaneer jersey sent your way.
I will accept it. I have no issues with your guys' jersey. I have no issues with the Buccaneers.
At least it's red.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of our black jerseys. I kind of hope we go back to the red scheme. That's why I'm wearing the alternate side. That is my favorite jersey by them. But yeah, let's hope. But I guess with that being said, Andrew, who's your highlight of your other NFC team?
Well, forget that there's 4 teams in the NFC South. We don't have someone to represent the Carolina Panthers because everybody's still in hiding. Because
that's funny. Mine's from the Panthers, but who are you going to pick?
I'm actually going to be picking Robbie Anderson.
Oh,
Robbie Anderson was that guy that literally made a tweet about Baker Mayfield. And it's almost as if Baker Mayfield made it a point to be like, fine, I'm going to make sure that you get all of the receptions and nobody else basically on the team will. Because as a DJ Moore owner in Dynasty, I was a little upset. So, but Robbie Anderson, the guy that nobody talks about and the guy that should be getting the respect on Carolina because he had a little bit of a resurgence game there.
Yeah, you know what? Like they do have some good wide receivers, right? With Anderson and Moore. It's kind of sad because there's been such a quarterback frenzy there in Carolina, right? Mm-hmm. And again, it's been nice being, I guess, any of us, right? A Saints fan, a Bucs fan, or an Atlanta fan, because you at least you're going to split the year and kind of go toe to toe with Carolina, especially with what's his face? Mr. Newton, Mr. Magic leaving. So yeah, no, it's interesting. I'm kind of hoping. I'm high on Baker. I've been high on Baker from the start. I think he gets a bad rep, even with Jameis Winston being a number 1 overall pick, Baker was a number 1 overall pick, right? So, there is something to be said. He's got the talent, whether people want to admit it or not. Yeah, sure. He's made some bad throws and he's had some bad games, but what quarterback hasn't? You're telling me that Jameis Winston hasn't? Like, you're telling me that Trevor Lawrence hasn't yet?
5 years of bad Jameis Winston.
There's no broken glass. There's no broken glass around here.
But but Jameis had good games too, right? Like, correct me if I'm wrong with Jameis Winston, right? Either he show up or he was out in the bleachers.
I mean, he beat Taysom Hill for the QB spot, so I guess.
I mean, they actually had to put a quarterback there. Like, there's a brand new head coach that can't be like, here's a tight end, wide receiver, running back, quarterback here for you. Like, have fun. Even though I put him in, I know a lot of teams and everybody is probably watching the show being like, why the hell is
everybody needs to clip this?
Saint fan?
People need to clip this right now. Like, Andrew's talking about Jameis. This needs to be shown in the future.
Well, I mean, yeah, you can clip this part for it too, because Jameis Winston shouldn't be starting for the New Orleans Saints. It really should be Taysom Hill, because I know, like, if this was XFL or CFL or any other fell out there, FL, like, everybody would be, calling for eat a W. You should listen to all the players talk about who were actually in that huddle and how cringe that was. There's a reason we lost that game, bro. I was like, ugh. But anyway, Taysom had, like, if you look at what he did on the stat board last night or the night before there, it's just it's incredible that this guy is a tight end and he's still doing all this stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he has an arm, and everyone's like, well, maybe his arm isn't that great. They said that about Lamar. They've said that about Drew Brees in this last season. They said that about Phillip Rivers. They've said that about a few other people in different situations. You can utilize all the different skill sets and get W's. And they did do that before, I'm pretty sure. They went like 3-2. They were like 3-0 before with Taysom Hill, and then they lost 2 games. And one of those were close. One was a blowout, whatever. But, like, Taysom has the ability to be literally in everything quarterback. They can run the Wildcat and have it only at 3 plays. Taysom's going to run it. Taysom's going to pass it, or someone else is going to pass it to Taysom, and you still wouldn't be able to cover it.
See, I don't know. This is where I differ a little bit. Just before I give you guys my player. I don't think Taysom Hill should be the starting quarterback. I also don't think Jameis Winston, though, should be the starting quarterback either. I think that Taysom Hill should be signed long-term on the team, and I believe he does have a pretty good contract right now. But I think he should stay in that tight end position, and he should be that, that odd, play, right, where he starts throwing the ball and stuff where people don't see it coming, right? I think that the Saints, if I was the Saints, and again, it makes me sick to say this, but if they go with a good QB in this next draft, watch out for the Saints. It's going to be disgusting.
I thought it was pretty nice that Taysom Hill ended up, kind of putting in the worth and then in his first carry and just showing and being like, you know what, I respect Winston and I'll go and I'll still prove myself that I am like a part of this team, in any way possible.
That's what we wanted Felipe Franks to be. I don't know if that's going to happen quite yet, but I definitely think that's the goal is, just seeing kind of what the Saints were doing with, Taysom Hill. I think that's ultimately what Arthur Smith was trying to do with Felipe Franks. But kind of touch on what Andrew was saying as well. My highlight was Ike Ekwonu, the rookie. He has been rated a stud and a dud in the last game, but honestly, like rookie left tackle had a hell of a performance. Especially going toe-to-toe with Myles Garrett. That's a tough matchup, right? And he held him off for most of the game. The Panthers may have fell short to the Browns, but, the fact that it was the first game of the season and seeing Ike Ekwonu go, right toe-to-toe with Myles Garrett, there's something to be said about it, right? Especially with all, the nerves and everything kind of playing into it. He would be my highlight out of the Panthers too. Also, kind of a tie, CMC, just because he didn't get injured. Just, I'm going to be honest, it's good to see when he's out there, he is a top running back. He's a steal of a deal. The guy produces points, fantasy, for the Carolina Panthers as well. But unfortunately, like he falls in the same category as Julio, like if he's healthy, he's great. If he's not, then, you feel his loss. So there is something to be said about that. But
for sure.
But yeah. So next week, who are you guys playing? How do you feel about it?
I wondered, Andrew, who are we playing?
Oh, perfect. I didn't even plan this.
And this is where I leave. No, I'm just kidding.
Who wants to go first?
Do it. Go first. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I said here we're going against the GOAT, Mr. Brady. It should be pretty interesting, but I mean, we need to tighten up our defense. I'm kind of scared, to be honest, going against you guys and what you did to Dallas, and holding them back offensively. I think we're going to have to bring it pretty hard offensively and trying to get some drive going. We need to be on the ball right from, the start of first quarter all the way to the end. I feel like there's going to be, I'm hoping that maybe, Tom Brady might be like, you know what? It's a little different playing against the Saints without Drew. And he might get a little bit in his head, maybe. That's the only way I see us winning, maybe. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be just as good, almost as the Falcons, where it's going to be a small gap of points in between, and it's going to be. I mean, I'm hopeful that our offense will produce something. And that Kamara, he needs to stand strong. We need all of our guys right now because going against you guys week 2 is a little scary, especially with Mr. Brady back. I was kind of hoping he would just relax a little bit,
That was us last season too. We went, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure we played the Bucs second week, actually.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, and we got our butts handed to us. But that's okay. We're in a rebuilding phase. But yeah, I guess, Andrew, how do you feel about that? What do you think is going to happen? Are you going to eat some humble pie and say the Saints might have your number or what?
I mean, anytime we play the Saints, there's a high chance, especially with the rivalry that's been going on in the last couple of years, that like we're gonna lose. I mean, we lost 9-0 to them last year, like in a regular season game. We also got like swept in the regular season in our first year with them and stuff like that, which really did help us to the Super Bowl because we did have to go through them in the playoffs. Sorry for that random memory, but the fact of the matter is I in a weird way, I'm gonna say this like I said 2 years ago. I said it 2 years ago and I said it last year. I'll kind of say it again. I would rather lose to the Saints twice and then get them in the playoffs and win. I'd rather lose to them twice, having that over Tom Brady's head again and over all the players again. That way, when we get to the playoffs, it's almost as if we're like anticipating someone even like getting close to us. Because that's what happened in the first year is we ended up beating Washington and it wasn't easy. And then once we beat the Saints, it was just like, yeah, this is it. This is now like it's ours. So in a weird way, I would like Brady to get smacked around, sacked 6 times, couple of picks, maybe squeeze out the dub would be kind of cool after that too. But no, I do think that we are going to probably have a close game. I in a weird way want to lose. I don't necessarily think we're going to, but I'm just going to think the opposite of what I think is actually going to happen. So yeah,
I think also a lot of it's going to hinder on Kamara because he actually just announced that the reason why he wasn't performing, I think, a little bit week 1 was because he just said that he had a rib issue. So, I mean, if he's good to go this week, or if not, I mean, I looked up his stats against the Bucks, and out of the 4 games played last year, 3 of them or out of all 4, he got 3 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. So, I think, yeah, Kamara's pretty good knowledge of how to run through your guys' defense, but I don't know if his performance is going to be there with his rib issue.
Well, kind of with the comment below too, if the Bucks O-line was healthier, I think we'd win Sunday. But if Donovan Smith can't go and Wells is the left tackle, it might be a long day for the Bucks. So I guess that's one thing to kind of touch on as well, right, Andrew? Like, your O-line definitely is hurting a little bit. So, and you're going against again one of the best defenses in the league. Like, they're proven, they got the chemistry. I guess my question for you is with you playing the Saints and everything. Like, do you have enough firepower to take on their defense, and can you afford to lose any more of your O-line?
Definitely can't afford to lose any more of those guys on the O-line. I'd be very pissed off if we lose any more people on that O-line. And it just seems like the story last year was like, we didn't have enough wide receivers. We have more than anybody else. So I still it's gonna have to be on the backs of Lenny because that defense is just really, really good. And if we can utilize Lenny to at least, go 50-50 up against that D-line, then I think that'll be the winning formula for us to get out of New Orleans. We were in New Orleans for that one, right? Or New Orleans coming to us for that one. I can't remember.
We're at New Orleans, so it's going to be home base. Maybe the audience will, confuse. They're quite loud there.
Yeah, they are very loud. So that's going to be another reason why it's going to be harder on the Bucs there.
Well, fair enough. No, that's totally good. And Andrew, I know you got to run, but I guess just tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me right where that logo, right in the little top right of your screen there, that little logo with the little circle and then the other circle. It's kind of like Illuminati for sports, but don't ask me about it because I don't want to die. So
can you say that live? I don't know if you should be, but
yeah, I guess this is an American network. I'm so sorry, Sean. You can find me North Sports Dynasty every Friday, every Sunday. We do the Maple Bucks show on Sunday nights, getting everybody updated after the game so that they're ready for their Monday morning delights. I'm gonna be a little bit less around because I just got a new job starting Monday, but I'm obviously going to be trying to be around as much as I possibly can, so I can keep my streak of being first in every damn show for continuous, moments on. Shout out to the Saints fan that decided to come on here, Nichole. I think what we should do in order to get a Carolina fan on here, though, is make Mark a Panthers fan. That would probably No. You
Can we do that actually, Nichole? Because like that would be awesome.
He just asked and said that he's going to get a Taysom Hill jersey.
Okay,
like,
so you've already got him good. No, we can't convert him now. If he's that's a big Taysom Hill jersey. That jersey is going to be bigger than Taysom Hill, for crying out loud.
I mean, maybe you can snag my brother Enver, my dad, because I don't know about the Cowboys this year. Dad said he's going to have to call my brother and talk about writing off the season.
Oh God.
Oh jeez. But yeah, no, you can find me Friday, Sunday, and I'll pop on this show every time I can, possibly too. It's been really fun being on Let's Talk Football, especially with all the cast and crew that we got here. So shout out to Sean, shout out to Cal for his first ever solo show. Good job keeping your jersey on. Proud of you. And much love to everybody, and I will talk to you again soon.
All right, well, take care, Foobs. Nice having you, and talk soon.
Bye,
Peace and love.
So, Nichole, I guess we got to talk about my team. We're going against the defending Super Bowl champions, the LA Rams. I gotta say, I'm a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie to you. Right?
Yeah, they're pretty stacked.
Yeah, I don't know though. Like, do you think we have a chance? That's the real question. I guess we realistically we do. If I'm just speaking openly, right? They are coming off of that Super Bowl, the Super Bowl win, but the first week drought, right? So, is that going to translate, or are they going to lift up and I guess just give us our butts, right?
You know what? If they won against Prime Time 7 or 8 years ago against the Saints, I would have been an LA fan. So
Saints saying things like that.
Hold out the win against them. So I believe you guys can do it too, or else
Well, this is what I think is, there's a couple things to highlight here. Number one is there's been a lot of talk about Jalen Ramsey and how much he was just like burnt toast. Like they just gave it to him, right? Who was it? It was I believe Stephon Diggs. I hope I'm saying the right Diggs brother. I'm pretty sure it's Stephon Diggs. Just had a day with him, right? Like he was unbelievable, right? He went toe to toe with him. And just so many receptions and so many yards just against him. And, he's supposed to be rated the number 1 cornerback of the league, right? But I don't know. I don't know if it's the first week shivers or what's going on with that. But, I don't think the Falcons are going to be able to throw long bombs to Drake London. So what I kind of anticipate for this game is I think in order for us to win this game is we're going to have to complete our passes for sure. Obviously, that goes without saying. But also, I think it's the time to utilize Kyle Pitts. And this is where I think Kyle Pitts could actually have a shine is, if you have those not outrageous, like 30, 40-yard passes, maybe, those 10-yard, 12-yard passes where, he runs for, an extra 6 or 7 yards and he continues to get those first downs. I think that's going to be the way to beat the Rams. I also think playing conservatively, you got to realize who your opponent is, right? So I think that may get the job done. The defense is going to have to perform from the first minute to the last minute, right? So I think that's the way to do it. But realistically, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'm calling it. The Rams are going to win 27-17. But if I'm even right on that, and that actually does happen, then ultimately I'll be impressed. It's the Super Bowl winning team. I'm sure they're going to make a deep dive into the playoffs too, which we can talk about in another week. But I want to see progression. I think that's the biggest thing that I can really ask out of all this is that I want to see the team continue to mold. I want to see them move in a positive direction. Ben makes a good point here that, they need to use a heavy dose of Cordarrelle Patterson, right? The Rams defense has been a really good defense for a very long time. So, but I don't know if that's going to be the answer because I think that they're going to be expecting that too. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I guess before we go, Nichole, what's your score prediction for your team? You have to guess.
You know what? It could either go really, really low or really, really high. I think it could be maybe even, I'm hoping in the 30s, like 30-32.
Wow. That's what you're 30-32 for what? The Saints or for the Bucs?
Yes. I'm going Saints. Come on.
I love it. I love it.
I'm a fan.
Bucs, that's great.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what? Maybe Pitts for you can have a redemption arc. You know?
That's what I'm hoping for. I really
Yeah.
do. Like I want to see the guy ball out. Like I really, really do. I think he's a fantastic player. You know, he's been called the unicorn and stuff, but I just want to see him have his time. I want to see him get a couple touchdowns. That's what I want to see. Oh, Ben. Saints 27, Bucks 23. Ooh. There's some traction, Nichole. There's some traction.
I'm just saying, if we get Kamara, he knows how to break down their defense. I think so. I'm hoping all the praise, all the health to him.
Well,
get your ribs
crossed.
fixed.
Fingers crossed, absolutely. But Nichole, I just want to say thanks for coming on. You know, I'm hoping we can do this weekly. I don't know what day we're gonna do this on quite yet, but it's been a lot of fun. You absolutely did fantastic, as I know you would have.
If it's one thing I know, it's just New Orleans Saints. So,
well, that's all you really need to know. So, I want to give a shout out to you. I also want to give a shout out to Let's Talk Football. You know,
yes.
If you guys haven't done already, like, share, you know, follow them all. They have multiple shows. You know, from the Round Table, to, you know, Washington Football Wednesdays to, you know, Sunday morning with the Swintons. There's a whole ton. So it's a whole community, and we're always looking to grow. So shout out to them, and shout out to Sean Spencer for allowing us to do this show. So
yes, thanks,
Nichole,
Sean.
any final words?
It might be a little bit of a magic reference, but I like to think that Cam Jordan is our mythic legendary. So I'm that's all.
All right, I love it. I'm gonna end off on a quote. That's how I'm gonna do this. Okay. So my quote is: include everyone, togetherness, rise up in a brotherhood way. And that's quoted by Dan Quinn. Nice. Somebody will respect that in this chat. So, but anyways, Nichole, you have yourself a great night. And for everybody else tuning in, thank you. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah, let's go. Bye. Week 2, baby.
Let's go, football.
Let's go. Okay, have a good one.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye.